type basis. You need to set up those positions to create that advantage. And that's where clone comes in. That's where down tilt comes in. That's where smoke, of course, is fully on display to mask the repositioning that Forsburn is so readily and consistently trying to do.
Yeah, I
It-
you got what I was getting at, where, like, if you are the Forsburn, yeah, obviously, Clairen, this matchup all about spacing as we are going to go to the forest for game number 1. Like, you need to have a good measure of how you're doing this, in terms of the spacing, just so you can connect with those tippers and get those kills early on. But if you're Forsberg, you have so many means with which to manipulate the space around you, not least of which that clone. So you can shorten up the field however you like. You can manipulate the Clairen to do basically whatever you want. You quite literally swinging at ghosts in many aspects. So why not utilize that to your advantage, as Muttnut is going to be down ever so slightly. But
yes.
again, it's just a matter of
Yep.
charge in with the sword swanging, and that is going to be first blood drawn by the blade of Clairen. Ooda, 3 stocks to 2 at 48%.
Yeah, Uda's always been extremely efficient in his on hit game. I mean, you saw it right there with the neutral B canceling into the not canceling, but pulling into the down air afterward. There's a lot of smoke though on the side of Muttnut, finding a couple capes and completing the forward strong there. Not just go right into the dagger cloak right ahead of it to make sure that you are finishing off the stock. It is a mix up in and of itself, whether you cancel into a down tilt or just to let the forward strong rock. But Muttnut does have to be careful how many times he's spending these double jumps. Forsburn, for all of his evasiveness, is at a very, very good combo weight for a very, very on hit, powerful character in Clairen. So you cannot be burning your resources too quickly.
Exactly, and that seems to be what this Clarion is at least forcing out of Muttnut. Is just okay. Well, you know that you have the special stuff. We know you got that special sauce to make my life a little bit more difficult. But what if I make you rely on it? That is one of those things. Like, I mean, yeah, tricks are cool, but they definitely have a shelf life. And Uda is going to try to cut through all of the smoke quite literally, and is going to get tagged up on the platform. It feels like that's not the place where you want to be against a character like Forsberg.
Yeah, that platform is just a disaster waiting to happen on the side of Uda. Needs to avoid it if he can because Forsburn's down strong covers the whole thing instantaneously. Finds the forward tilt though, excuse me, Uda doing a very solid job of calling out clone or just dealing with it quickly, however he can. That was an excellent pickup though. Most of the time as Forsburn, you want to stay at 2 charges of smoke for as long as possible, and then pick up the third charge, spend it quickly, then get back to your calling of smoke in a matchup like this. Doing so excellently right there to pick up the off balance recovery from Uda. The down tilt is going to seal the fate of that stock, however, just sending too far at 150 with no resources. And we're going to a final stock here, Stu.
Yeah, and here we are again. Swinging away is this Forsberg, but Claren. I mean, you're talking about we haven't really seen it come into play just yet, but the big tippers, right? Like that's always a possibility. The straight hit KO power is there, but you're talking about a character that isn't exactly bad with their speed, but not great either. How are you coping with someone like Forsberg, who's now going to throw everything and the kitchen sink at her? Almost getting the I wouldn't say almost getting the KO now, but now at triple digits, that knockback is going to be something fierce.
That was a huge risk from Muttnut to kind of lead on what you're saying, Stu. Like the fact that you had so much control over a stage on such a small stage as,
Oh,
yeah, you're not going to complete the recovery. Nice job on the side of Uda to consistently remove all of that smoke, cut down as many mix-ups as possible, and turn it into a just a linear keep poking at the teleport timings. Without all those mix-ups, it is a consistent timing that you can either parry or, in the case of Claren, just outrange with something like a down tilt. The fact that Mutna was feeling so presumptuous to just throw himself off stage, go for a massive combust, and that be that it certainly doesn't bode well for how I think he's trying to play the matchup, which is a shame because I think he's playing neutral and most advantage states pretty well. But once he's put in disadvantage, it seems like he's hurrying, and you can't do that as Forsburn. You have to go through and take all of the time you can to create the most layered mix up to get back to ledge or stage as possible.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have that sword, you have a little bit of room with which to cover some of those options. So again, mixing that up is especially crucial for Forsberg in that matchup. Going to again, you got the two platforms on the sides, pretty familiar layout. But again, like I'm trying to figure out who this might favor because you're seeing Forsberg make pretty good use of it. But at the same time, it's not like Clairen doesn't have a little bit of closing speed with which to punish a recovery to the platform. So I imagine, I mean, if you're a Forsberg and you're already having trouble recovering from ledge, then this makes things all the harder,
Yeah, especially if you
as
play your
demonstrated.
yeah, playing the teleport like that is only gonna get you punished. You need to try and utilize the recent changes to Forza's recovery that came in the last patch. If you teleport without a not directly to a floor, you do have a little bit of less end lag as you did previously. This is to compensate for just to more so give Forza a couple extra mix-ups. We're going full smoke charge here though, Stu, trying to find any sort of like back air or down air follow up. No, we're just letting it rip. But Ooda, so patient, always so collected, and just going to block that and get to the next interaction, covering so many of the instantaneous out of shield options from Muttnut. That's what I was talking about, Stu. He just seems to be rushing every time he's not the one in control. And that's a dangerous recipe as we again are aggressively getting on, aggressively
Ooh.
going to ledge too soon. And Uda sniffs that one out to land the ledgehog.
I mean, what else are you going to say at this point? This is Uda recognizing the matchup and knowing it to a T, seeking out that spot in winners semifinals is Uda and is one stock away from claiming such in uh I would say decisive fashion, just considering they got three stocks and their opponent has one. Did I say three? I meant two. Let me just stop talking.
Yeah, it can get dangerous real quick. Stocks can fly. Oh, we tried for the
For
special
for
pummel
them or for me?
for both.
True. True. Carry on.
Yeah, special pummel with force never feels worth it. I'm going to be real with you, Stu. Like what it does is upon the throw direction that force then tosses you, it carries over smoke with the opponent. This is only okay. This is you would much rather have the smoke around you more than around your opponent. Though use of the super clone certainly not bad there, but a nice delay on the recovery for Uda in order to get back to ledge. You're certainly going to take all this punishment if it means you can get back to where Clairen is at her best, which is right here in center stage, trying to chase down Muttnut. Does find it with the up throw forward air once, twice, holding a ledge and trying to cover and slowly whittle down resources. That's the smoke. There's the teleport, but gets hit by it. Was doing such a good job of winning it all
Ooh.
down, and now it's a final stock situation with a with two clones. Clone used immediately and said, "We're just jabbing it out." Hey, that's 30 damage.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're out of resources, sometimes you just got to be able to do it the old-fashioned way. So, Muttnut certainly showing confidence in their in his abilities, but I don't know, just
Ooh.
okay, getting cheeky at ledge. Oh, Ooda, this game is getting away from them real fast. They need a, I don't know, you just need a stray tipper or something at the ledge. Anything that you can do to debase Muttnut is going to be certainly welcome and would be their ticket to winners semifinals. But Uda having a little bit of a tough time putting Muttnut away. He was trying to make it back to stage. Will their feet even touch the ground again? And indeed they will. Utilizing the clone up strong, not quite getting the kill. Staying alive at 106 and is going to get it done. Muttnut with the reverse three stock. You gotta appreciate it. If nothing else, the just resilience that we have seen from Muttnut here.
Yeah, keeping the win condition on track, and you know what the win condition against not excuse me, not Maple, technically also Maple, but Claren especially
Mm.
is air acceleration. She is not a very fast character in the air at all. You need to juggle her. You need to make her feel like she can't escape those types of disadvantages, whether they be off stage or above you. And a couple times in a row, Muttnut finds the upstrong, one off of a cape confirm, well, a clone confirm, one just completely as an anti-air. And we're going to the next game and the final game of this set, game number 3, over to Jules Vale, a very strong stage for both of these characters because they like to maneuver and either control space or manipulate it in some fashion. Forsburn with his smoke, Clairen with her disjoints. But Ooda is the one in the driver's seat at the moment, getting caught by the teleport yet again. Just seems like ever so slightly off these timings, and Muttnut is taking full advantage of it.
I mean, it seems like Claren is not exactly having a hard time in the air either. Like it's one of those deals where it's like even if it's not necessarily the fastest character, which I don't know, this character seems pretty darn fast to me.
That
Not like I mean it is more or less Muttnut trying to rely on a little bit of the trickery and just like generally good fundamental gameplay, good confirm into the upstrong and is going to, oh my goodness, Ooda saying they want the smoke. Muttnut obviously obliging, but Ooda going to have to go off stage yet again to try to combat Muttnut, but the platforms of Julesvale going to play into their favor.
Yeah, coming over to the left side of the stage, just in the nick of time, we find a sour up air just into neutral air. Uda's not finding those finishers that you really need him to see. Like it's a lot of soured forward tilt endings, a lot of neutral air endings, and like no strong tippers to really close out stocks. And we're falling into that, their arthritis for a reason. If you're not able to be as pristine with your confirms as you need to be, stocks can last a way longer than you want them to. Goes for another combust instantaneously. No neutral air into Daka's follow up. But we're still at 147 here, Stu. Seeing another clone spawn that's misdirection, teleporting to smoke and putting out the up air in the nick of time. That was super tight from Muttnut.
And I am just going to point this out at the risk of looking silly in about a couple seconds. Muttnut has taken 4 straight stocks without losing one, and you can just go ahead and make that 5. Uda! High fives all around for Muttnut, but Uda now has his back up against the wall. And I mean, what can you do with this Claren? I mean, all this run speed, I want to say